Hi everyone, Lord Crew here, and welcome to my channel. So the topic for today is about the weekend rank meta for week 136. So without further ado, guys, let's proceed. So we will start with the Gods matchup. And as you can see, for this weekend rank, week 136, the number one God meta is Light. So currently, he has like the highest win rate, 54.2%. And as you can notice, the most popular deck are War in this weekend rank. But War is like the second to the lowest in total win rate. But I believe 48.4% is like still a good win rate. And as you can see, he has like 26.6%. So in the past years, especially last year, 2021, Nature Majority is the number one in terms of popularity. But for this past 2 weeks now, especially since the introduction of the core refresh, Nature is now become either the second most. He's not no longer. So the first week of weekend rank, Magic is rank one, followed by Nature. But now, since the nerf of Magic, especially the Dempo Hatchling or the Hatchling and Crystal Rain, some key cards in Core Refresh for the Magic, as you can notice, Nature now is the still second, but still more than 20%. And as you can see, and followed by Light. Light is the third most popular, but he's the highest win total win rate here. As you can see, there's still a positive, a good win rate for Magic, even though there's a lot of nerf. The main reason why, because there are lots of players are still using the Dralamar OTK combo. I will explain a little bit on that deck, meta deck. But as you can see, Magic is the second to the last most popular. No, third one, the third most second last popular, and Death currently are dominated by zombies or zombie control, and board wipe deck are still on the most lowest in terms of popularity and lowest in win rate. And as you see, nature are still 49.2%. Same with the deception with with the 9.9 popularity. So overall, I believe in this weekend rank meta, uh, this meta is about aggro, and the number one god meta for this weekend rank week 136 is light, and that's already shown in terms of the total win rate here. So now we will go now for the archetype. So for the archetype, as you can see, the most highest win rate archetype are the aggro magic, and as you can see, it's 65.5%. This make the this because of this high win rate of the aggro magic, it pull ups the total win rate of the magic. That's because of him. That's the main reason why if we go back here, even though it's only 10.1%, 50.8%, the main reason why it went to positive green because of the archetype of magic. So if we just gonna focus on the magic itself, and you can see he's the only one with the positive or like above 50%, the aggro magic. The rest are literally broke down into below 50%. Now, yeah, we will gonna go now. Hidden rush, a board wipe deck still there. And as you can see, they're only 1.5%. So if I compare the aggro magic this week and last week, this week it to only 2.4. Usually it was right. I think last week is above, especially during the before the weekend. Now there are like around 3% who are playing aggro magic. So probably some players stopped playing magic and went for the other deck because they know like aggro magic is broken. So and as you can see, base here, there are like couple of decks who managed to have above archetype with above 50%. So we have control light, aggro light, hidden deception, and even aggro nature. So for the war aggro, which is the one of the most popular now, and as you can see, the most played here archetype are number one here, 12.1%. I believe the 12.1 is a control light, which is the most I think most popular in terms of archetype. The most played are the control light, followed by the ordered order deception, where it's like 12%, and then uh followed by the next one will the aggro war. So as you can see, Oh, even like the control magic still as highest, like highest in terms of popularity here. Even though if we go back previously, war is 26.6. So I think their war are broken down into multiple decks. So if we go first with light, there are only two archetype, 12%. Both are them are in 50%. So that's why in this week, control light and aggro light are the dominating one. Now if we go back now to war, there are like four archetype, and as you can see, both of them are split into two types: the aggro war and the frenzy aggro war. But still, I believe they're like identical. They're like there are still aggro, but because in terms of popularity, you can combine them to become, let's say, aggro war is the most played this weekend rank. Most played this weekend rank because they are like total of 22%. So it's just like it depends on the card. If you add more frenzy creature, then you will consider it a frenzy aggro. So now if we go back to nature, which is like the like I said, the top two, the dominating deck still the mid-range one here, and the rest are broken down into regen, control, and Amazon. Okay, but the so technically if we combine that one with light, uh 12.1 C control light, there's still a lot of player playing control light compared with the one. And in terms of war and war and light, and as you can see, uh total of 20% for the light, but there are like more than 20% for the total of war here. So that's it. Now we're gonna proceed now with the net decking for the top 20. So for the top 20, if we go back now in the top so if we go back now to the top 20, as you can see, on the top 20, we're gonna go verify like what are the most what archetype deck that are enter the top 20. And I believe the main reason why I'm doing this because usually anyone who entered the top 20, high chance will be copied by other mythic player and will be played next week. So that's unless there's a buff or nerf of certain cards. So unless there's no balance update, we might see the same cards, or some player may based on the experience this week, they might take up against on that certain deck. So if you're gonna ask me on this top on the top 20, light is the most dominating deck in the top 20. There are like six who played control light and one playing aggro light. So seven players are using light enter the top 20, followed by magic. Magic, especially the aggro magic. There's on the top 20, there are six aggro magic who enter the top 20. And on the war, there are only four. It was break into a three archetype: aggro war, frenzy aggro war, and the one that is unexpected, the citadel control, which is I will explain later. And then on the death, deception, and nature, there are like one player each will enter, like a zombie, hidden deception, and a mid range. So we will just tackle like the famous which on each archetype, and that's it. So for the first one, the we have like managed to get a perfect one, and this is because Enhyben played the Agrowar, and the main reason why this is like a broken archetype is because of the Dralamar. So we all know Dralamar is a new core, it's a new core card, and the problem with this one, I believe this is a bug or a coding problem. And the sad part, it was like known since last week, but for no reason they never fix it. We don't know why. What is the reason? If you're gonna ask me why, probably they having problem on the programming of this card. So, but they have like an option like to ban this Dralamar in the weekend rank, but they never announced that one. So what happened is, as you can see, there are like majority of the cards are three casting costs, and Dralamar. If you play a spell, you will refresh the mana equal to that casting cost, or equal to its mana cost, right? So what happened? The combo will be like they gonna do a Aether Snap. They will use the helper Aether Fox to make the Aether Snap casting cost 0. So on turn 6, FYI, turn 6 or 5.5 and a half, if you have an extra mana, you will play Dralamar. and then you will cast Aether Snap, which is zero casting cost because of the Aether Fox. So technically, what should happen is you will refresh zero mana, right? Because it's zero. But instead, even though it's zero, it still refresh as 3 mana. And starting that combo, you will use all your cards to card draw and sip, and then you will like manage to like every time you draw a card now, moving forward, once you will refresh 3 mana. Every time you cast 3 or 1, you will refresh that 1 mana now. And that will happen. It's like an infinite card draw while dealing 1 damage to your opponent. So it's like an infinite, and that's the thing because there are not more than 3 casting costs. So technically, if I refresh 3 mana, I will play Librarian Prayer to draw a card and then use again that one. I can play again another Aether Snap with 3 casting costs, and then I will summon 2 more static, and then it's like a chain reaction where you gonna draw, play spell, draw, play spell, draw, play spell until your opponent's life will be destroyed by the Aether Bug, summoned by this. So Aether Bug is a 1/1 with ward that every time you cast a spells, it deals well damage to random character. Random character means god or creature. So technically, you will just play that one until your opponent creature on the board are cleared, and then it might deals now the damage to your opponent. So that's how broken it is, and you can do this combo in turn 6 means it's game over. So okay, so the next one now, like we go now with the light. As you can see, Whirly is using the aggro light. Uh, Also, on the variation of the aggro light, I noticed it's like they use canonize instead of prayer. But there's a control light version where they still gonna use the zealous march on turn 7, and hopefully you have like a prayer to kill your opponent. But they're like identical in terms of early round. They're just gonna play and do the board control. The only difference is that if anything goes wrong on turn 7 for control light, you still have like a chance of winning by playing zealous march, and we all know you will not able to destroy all of this one, because if you have like the only way for you to kill all those zeros are either using overseer or vitality, where you do -2 health to all of this to this acolyte, or destroy all, because this is protect. So if your opponent has like a soul survivor on AoE, like deals 2 damage, all of these zealous march will be survived because they have protect, and that's like make this OP. Like cast this and then kill him on the next turn. So I managed in my weekend rank, I managed to pull this combo. Play Zealous March, and then next turn, Prayer, and you will deal maximum of 24 damage attack, especially if opponent has no front line. Okay, so this is like coming around, and as you know, it's very expensive. Control Light has the most expensive cards on their specific casting costs, like Netherbind Binder. In 2 casting costs, they have Pyramid Warden. On the 4 casting costs, they have like Highborn, and the rest are the new core cards, like the Vexing Vicar, Maze. So literally, this make since the release of Core Refresh, this deck make become so popular now. So we have like two now. So we have like two lights, aggro and the control. So as you can see, aggro don't have prayers and zealous, and control light has zealous and prayer. So that's the only difference. But if my experience, control light versus aggro light will win because they have like blind martyr, and they can like swarm the board, because we all know one weakness of light. If my opponent filled the board already, you have no AoE to this clear it out, and that's the thing. Okay, just spam the board and just do a creature trade, and light has no way of like dealing that. So that's aggro war, and then now if we're gonna go for uh, so we have aggro magic, aggro light, control light. Now the next will be the rank 5. This is the only death entered the top 20, and this is like the zombie death. And the difference between zombie in the past and before, usually they play this like a little bit. I call it zombie control. Instead of like spamming the board and like dealing more damage using the soul burn god power, they're using blood ritual now to control the board, because on this current meta, everything is aggro, and you as a zombie now, you have to control the board now. to win, and you're like relying on the Necrosceptor. Luckily, they have like they summon 1/1 zombie with Leech, and like relying on this Course Obelisk, and using your God power now to control the board. So literally control the board, flood the board, and then win. And as you see, there's like Overserve Vitality, which is a good counter versus Zealous of March, because it gives -2 health, and we all know those Acolyte has 2 health. Okay. So technically you're like I believe this is like a zombie control variation, not a zombie aggressive one. Okay. So another one that has been famous are the rank 7, like the Citadel of War. So there's another so finally this is the chosen one entered the top 20. He is the guy with has the Citadel of God. Uh and for unknown reason before, I think the mythic cards are not allowed in weekend rank for unknown reason. I don't know if he will still receive a reward or not. But because what I know, player with mythic card are not allowed in weekend rank, and that's the main reason why you don't see him in the past. And he's the only player with the one copy of Seeded. So this is a one copy. So technically, he will just play this one, and he got all the biggest minion. So as you can see, how powerful is this? I wish I have this one, and I believe for all the mythic cards, this is the most powerful one. And this is like I think a fun deck, literally fun deck versus aggro. But I think the aggro magic will defeat this one, because if you notice, he will unlock all mana and summon legendary, and Dralamar is legendary. Technically, your opponent might play next turn all the his combo. But as you can see, there's like a with blitz and creature here, so who knows? If who gonna win, the broken aggro war or the citadel? But as you can see, this is like literally a mythic deck because of the mythic rank. So I don't know why. Usually this is not allowed in the on the weekend rank, but who knows? Maybe like I said, there are lots of multiple bugs happening now in Gods Unchained. Probably they allow it now, or there might be a change of rule. So one of the most another one. There's a one player who entered uh the top 20 and using a nature, and we all know this is like the one of the most popular deck now, and this is the mid-range. So some of the mid-range I know they're using root, one Fey Flame and two root, but him, instead of using two root, he using a Jaguar Staff instead. So that's the only difference that I noticed with some other mid-range build. Okay. Blade Fly, they're like a variation, like either use Blade Fly or the bigger one. But technically this like also an aggro, and as he has underbrush bore here, so technically this is like an because this is like a meta of aggro, so at least you have like weapons to counter the aggro. Okay. Weapon in this aggro meta are very important because that's how you control the board. Another one who get famous are this hidden rush. I believe this is like a hybrid because there are only like two hidden creature here, like armor lurker and shadow Letinon, because there are lots of aggro in the meta, and that I believe that's the main reason why Letanon is very safe. Because if light versus war, this is untouchable because there's no AoE that deals on the hidden creature for light. But Letanon are like a weakest versus nature, because nature has a lot of random spells like deals 2 damage to random creature, and hidden are been can be affected by that one. But instead of like being a pure rush, like pure hidden, it's a mixture of order control. So this is like a hybrid for me, like combining relying for Shadow of Lieutenant to deals damage while controlling the board. I think that's like it's a good idea, because technically if you play pure hidden, you may win or you may not. And if you have if your opponent is nature, it's correct, it's already considered game over, because nature has like all the abilities to destroy your all hidden creature. But the hidden deception are very good versus like as you can see, good versus control, and because of they can like hide and deals massive damage. Okay, and the next so we have zombie, and now we have like a different variant on rank 17. Uh rank 17. This is like a different variation of control light. So usually the control light I mentioned before are more on Zealous March and Prayer. This is like literally a control using Lysander Honor. Just literally control board, and I think his win condition are Zealous of March and Hylian Elite. So if we go back overall here, so we have Aggro Magic, rank 1, rank 2, Aggro Light, rank 3, Aggro War. So the Aggro War, we're gonna go topic now with the war. As you can see, this is like there are like multiple variation of wars, and they're literally more on like attacking. I think one makes them so popular are the Viking War Maiden, because for 2 to cast you can have a 3-2 and 1-1 at the same time. They buff Blood Guard. It can summon another uh 2 to 1-1. Then they're all Viking, can be buffed by Battle Barb, and that's like, and using the God Slayer power, they just literally just go on face. So majority playing this one, it's literally more on face damage, just attack God. You don't do board control. You just like be aggressive, and then use your God Slayer in later on if you cannot play any more cards. Okay? And there's like also like a frenzy one. Like I said, there are like two difference of aggro in war, frenzy and non-frenzy. So almost the same. I think the main reason why it became frenzy because he has a frenzy card called Thunder Caller. And I think that's it. So this one also blitz like the Archangel. So they have they have two cards with frenzy aggro. So if we check the other one, this one has a frenzy, but not that many. I think this is the only frenzy card here, only one, and the other one has like total of 4 cards. So I believe they're like the same. It's just like the other one has more frenzy and the other one has none. Okay, but still for me, both aggro war, and that's it. So now, that's it. There are like multiple. Like I said, zombie, aggro magic, control war, Hidden Rush, Frenzy, on top 11, Control Light, Control Light, Control Light, Aggro Magic, Control Light, Aggro Magic, Aggro Magic, and then Control Light. So the good thing is on the top 10, top 11 to 20, it's either Control Light or Aggro, but on the top 10, at least there are like one representation of each god. Only one copy, like Midrange. So the good thing about this weekend meta, still for me the positive side, there are like other deck that entered the top 20 like Deception, uh Nature, and Death. Not like compare with the past where you can only see two gods or three gods like War Control, Board Wipe deck, and Magic. That's it. Now at least you see some weird deck like Zombie deck, Deception, and even like other decks. That's like the positive side of it. We are now no longer on the control meta. Now if I check the top 20 here, I check the top 20, scan it. There are lots of still of control light, aggro light, and aggro magic. So that's the three on the top 20. Aggro light, control light, and aggro magic. But there are also like two on the top 30 who use control war. Literally the old style control war. And even like a one board wipe deck in this top 21 to 40. Okay, there are like I think in in 21 to 30 there's like a control war here, but everything here are dominated by aggro light, control light, and aggro magic. Okay, and there's a board wipe deck one. So that's like the positive side of that one. Okay, so that's it, guys. So thank you so much for watching. If you have like question or suggestion, kindly please leave me a comment. And if you like the video, can please subscribe, like, and see you next time. And thank you for watching.
There's a distance between us.